Good morning, Kevin, and good morning, everybody. This is live coverage of the Middlebury Memorial Day Parade.
2019.
MCTV, Larry Volkert, and Kevin Parizo.
And before we get started, Larry, we always have to do a disclaimer. We will attempt to get it right, but if we don't, it'll be close.
We have printed matter, but as in all the other previous years, some people are no-shows, some people show up at the last minute and say, can we march? But Kevin and I have been here for a few years anyway, going on more.
Yes.
So we will attempt to bring you live coverage of Middlebury's Memorial Day Parade.
One of the first things that our television audience will be seeing as it comes around the corner will be the honor guard, as well as the first of the police cruisers and one of our ambulances, which leads us out this morning. In this opening police cruiser is Chief Tom Hanley, who will be the guest speaker today.
That is correct.
Nothing like the chief of police getting his own escort. Followed by the Middlebury Regional, ambulance number 4.
Here we have the American Legion Color Guard. This year's parade organizer was a Legion Commander, Laura Flint, during her first year in this particular detail.
As you know, Larry, a ton of work goes into this parade. You did it for many, many, many years.
There's a lot of communicating. It gets better with people as repeat personnel.
This year, we're very fortunate. The weather is gorgeous.
Our parade marshal, Robert Williams, World War II Navy veteran, along with some VFW and American Legion members. Laura Flint in the back of the vehicle.
Followed by the Addison County Sheriff's Department. Peter Newton, the new sheriff in town, so to speak.
Madison County Republicans coming through.
Just a second or two, people at home will see one of the first of the floats, Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Again, sponsored by the Republicans.
Yes.
Very fitting float.
Here we have Missouri College President, Lori Patton, John Emerson's 1952 Cadillac, and her dog.
I wonder if she has just one in the back or two. Very happy, I'm sure. Oh, there's two dogs
both
back
of them,
there.
yes. Middlebury Union High School Band.
Direction of Ann Severy. And this year had a very successful trip to New York City for the St. Patrick's Day Parade.
we have Vermont Team USA. Oh, out.
From Bridport.
I'm assuming so, but it does not say.
Well, their dress almost matches the color of the car.
Very rotary. Ron Hadley, World War II vet.
Again, they're throwing some of the stuff, and the Rotary's walking around giving out flags and cheese and candy, and as well as that's the Rotary that sponsors in the park right across from where you and I are, flags honoring the veterans of all wars.
We have a float.
From Cabot Cheese. And it looks as if, oh, okay, more cheese is getting thrown. Well, I will admit, Larry, at least it's nutritionally good for people.
Yes.
Amazing how the kids love to come to the parade to see how much they're going to acquire.
Remember years ago when I was starting to put a little bit of issues out on throwing candy, some of the kids were saying, well, why? Why do we have to? Can't we get some candy?
Sure.
I said, there's more to the parade than candy.
Absolutely. The Open Door Clinic. Which has become a vital part of our healthcare
Yes, it has.
system in Addison County.
Cub Scouts, back 536. It's bigger than he is.
I was going to say.
Okay. Well, that's good to have a representation.
Oh, absolutely. Good to see those uniforms are still similar to when you and I were kids.
Yes. Rolling back a few years here.
Yes. Well, as we were saying earlier, both you and I had coffee this morning with Horatio Seymour and Joseph Patel, and they would have been so pleased to see this parade. But on a historical note, Larry, it is so important that we always remember and not lose focus of what today is all about. It's honoring those that have given the ultimate sacrifice. In many wars, many locations throughout the world. I think it's been declared a national holiday since 1971, but officially May 30th was designated in 1868. Certainly a holiday of many, many years. More Cub Scouts, the Knights of Columbus.
Here, very well. Welcome back, Knights of Columbus.
Been a lot of years, Larry, since the KFC.
I remember talking to them. I know several members real well. And they said they were all too old to march. And I said, get in a truck and get in a car.
That's right. Miniature horses.
Hurry home, Denekers.
Shalom. Adorable little horses. You'd almost have one of those, Larry, as a household pet.
Yes.
Elderly Services, Project Independence. Bus that we see around town a lot.
Yes.
Reunion Middle School. Their director, Rob DeBruin. Understanding, Larry, is this year this band has grown hugely. And it's a resurgence of interest again.
Well, that's good. It looks. That was it. One drum. Was good. Midport, line, first response. Midport, Madison.
And Bridport's fire truck. I would guess early 1950s Ford.
They said 1949.
49. Wow. It's amazing, Larry, when you see a truck like that and you realize that, well, obviously in 1949, that was state of the art.
Yes.
And here comes the approach of something that I think everybody and every kid loves. Iroh Temple.
This year with the Cairo, we have the League of Honor, Patrol of Drums, Clowns, the Mini Monsters, and the Mini Choppers. Quite a representation from the Cairo.
Led by their two vehicles, Larry, with all flags of every branch of our armed services.
Back in the 50s, Ken Gorham was around. He was the real active, and he was always a bugler.
Yes.
And he started working or riding as a World War I vet. And that was a highlight back in the early days, watching the Cairo.
Oh, and this first one right here is Stuart Lee driving that little mini something monster. I really though think, Larry, that as the bridge project continues in Middlebury, that the town should consider having some of these little vehicles, because we at least could park those. But I think to myself every year, how many kids go home from this parade probably begging their folks, can't we get one of those? Mind having one. Problem is, though, if I got in it, I probably wouldn't be able to get out. Distance. We can hear the St. Andrews pipes and drums. From a musician's perspective, Larry, it still is a sound that generates emotion.
Yeah.
The nice thing from our advantage of where we're positioned, the size of the crowd this year is huge. It's great to see. Said on there their banner. 1975 is when this started.
Okay.
But it's a sound that I think, Larry, is so appropriate. And I know of only one other sound as a musician that probably generates emotion faster than bagpipes. And that's when we stand at the playing of taps. For a piece of music that only has 24 notes in it, it is probably one of the most poignant pieces in trumpeters' repertoire that can generate so much emotion. And actually, Larry, between you and I, it's great to see so much patriotism on a day like today.
It's really a good showing. The weather has a lot to do with some of that, but they do come out and support their fellow veterans in the town. Here we have some Hannaford grocery personnel.
Lovely, they pass out the bags, but I think it would be nice if they filled the bags with groceries. Around the circle, you'll see a large blue banner that's coming around. We may have a little collision because there's a truck coming through on the other side of the circle. I think someone got their directions wrong. But I guess the truck's going to make it first. Silver something 4-H Club. I couldn't see in the front that fast, but I guess, Larry, they're letting them go on both sides of the circle.
Oh yes, it's easy to.
This should be interesting. You'll announce one side, I can announce the other.
Festival on the Green.
July 7th through the 13th. Several instrumentalists that are in that. And in the back, our left hand is Pat Boera, who started that.
Yes.
She was instrumental in starting it, and she still is actively involved.
Have a little league.
You get to test their throwing arm by throwing, I would presume it's candy. Luckily, Larry, they've never thrown it hard enough to where we're in any danger here. Good sized group of kids. In some ways, the coaches look to be as kids. They seem to enjoy this as much as the
Everybody has a good time.
participants. Coming into sight is going to be from the Wagner farm. The Dodge. I don't know, Larry, on your notes. Does it
Doesn't say
say?
anything about a year, no? But it's truck and tractor.
Well, should we make an attempt to guess? Probably the 1950s. Great shape, though. And as Is this part of the library group? As the banner says, books build a better world.
Okay.
They're passing out something. I don't know. Can't quite tell what it is, but the little banner things say "Universe of Stories." So. Followed by MCTV with their float. And it would appear, Larry, that perhaps you and I are on television. Members of MCTV.
Firemen walking around in circles again.
Yes. Well, I'm sure they'll figure it out after a while. As they come around the corner, or after the banner, is the present fire chief, David Shaw, followed on the right-hand side by Fire Chief Emeritus, Rick Cole. Followed by one of our
Engine
pumper,
3.
Engine
Yep.
3. You compare this one, Larry, to that earlier fire truck. What a difference. But I suppose there's a difference with what half to $750,000 will buy today.
Yes. Madison County Democrats.
Followed by a model, I couldn't see on the front. It was either a Model A, I think.
1930 Model A. Paul Elmore.
Ah,
Salisbury Fire Department.
again, very handsome looking equipment. One thing for our viewers at home to understand too is that we are very fortunate in this entire county that we have such a wonderful mutual aid group. Mary Hogan,
Mary Hogan Band.
under the direction of Sonia Kohovic. To the strains of Beethoven.
Yes.
Impressive truck, I would assume, Larry, probably from World War II.
U.S. Army. Yes.
Maybe Korea, but I think World War II. Not a lot of luxuries in that vehicle, Larry.
That's for sure.
And the group Veterans for Peace. don't see them quite often, Larry, down in the park. Hannaford Career Center. Noisy little things.
Yes.
Larry, look at the wheels on this little Cup Cadet. It has, well, what, probably 12 tires, followed by something that has an exhaust plate big enough for a huge diesel. And they're being very nice. They're giving away flowers. FFA.
Cafe, yeah.
First one, bedecked with flowers on its head.
Cambridge.
Again, Larry, it's nice to see that that fire department has grown somewhat. Numbers. Somebody getting to ride in the fire truck. They seem to be having a good time. In many ways, Larry, even though today, Memorial Day, is to honor those soldiers who have given the ultimate sacrifice, in many ways, we also should remember those people that work in police, fire, ambulance, that have given their lives in the line of duty. Group, Larry, that has come through under the 1776 flag flying by. You remember that, don't you?
Yes, I was.
So 1975 was when that fife and drum corps was established. And there's the honorary mayor of Middlebury.
Buster Weller.
Yes. And
Helen Porter.
Porter Rehab. Buster has been an integral part of this parade for how long? All the years that you ran this parade.
He rode in a car. He had his lawnmower for several years.
The hockey.
There's the best part of the parade, the Zamboni.
Absolutely. An organization, Larry, that certainly takes on a lot of kids in participation.
Girl Scouts. Salisbury.
It's nice to see, Larry, some of these organizations starting to come back.
I see it every few years now. I mean, the numbers are small, but the activity is really starting to circulate and get interest. Hopefully we can get more of the Boy Scout group, Brownie Girl Scout troops in the future.
Absolutely. National Bank of Middlebury. I don't see that they're throwing out dollar bills. That's too bad. We should suggest that for another year.
Nickels and dimes.
Yes. In a giant float piggy bank. Well, they are giving out something. So, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a pen set or something. But it will be interesting, Larry, next year as to what direction the parade will have to take because of the construction plans on Main Street.
Well, we really haven't put that much together yet, but that'll be a concern that we'll have to be facing. We can do. Middlebury Lions Club. Gary Baker.
Gary Baker being chauffeured. Followed by, looks like Tom Broughton, perhaps, David Preble.
Pat Broughton, Keith Payne.
Uh-huh. Well, there's one thing for sure. The kids are going to go home this year with plenty of stuff. Followed by the Thornapple Farm, Pat Palmer, his beautiful horses. Shoreham Fire Department.
Well, that's unusual.
Is that new? That must be new for this year, Larry. I don't remember them in the past, but certainly nice
Good
to
to
welcome
have them show up, yeah.
Absolutely. And just as you'll see in the television, there, unfortunately, they had to make room for the Bristol Rescue Squad to get through to the hospital. Unfortunately, emergencies still happen. Certainly, though, Larry, this year's parade has been quite impressive.
Oh, I'm encouraged by every year some of the new participating groups. Shows there still is some activity within the county, and they can put things together to make this day honorable and memorable for everybody.
And I would presume when it's up by the monument that we'll have the in Flanders Field this year.
We should be having both Flanders Field and Gettysburg Address. I do not have any personnel involved other than speaker, Police Chief Tom Hanley, the Legion Firing Squad.
Well, for many of our younger viewers, they probably they are too young to remember the fact of the red poppies that became synonymous with Memorial Day. And it was from that inspirational poem that Moana Michael conceived the idea of wearing red poppies on Memorial Day in honor of those who had died serving the nation during wars. A custom that we really don't see anymore.
Very little, right.
Now that the parade has resumed, they must have left the ambulance. Well, there's some little, this is I don't know what fire department this is, Larry. Do you?
I have no idea.
But they've got hose where they're spraying people. Well, isn't that thoughtful? But I don't know where they're from. Interesting. And then
We're getting into the division of not on our list.
not on our list and out of our league, but that's okay.
Go ahead.
Pontiac Gto that just went past us. The Bridge School.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, they're on our list.
They seem to be having a good time aboard their float. And followed
Cornwall.
by Cornwall. This is their engine 3. And their engine 1, which is a large pumper. And then perhaps the most impressive piece of fire equipment of all, Larry, is the, the Cornwall Fire Chief's car. My understanding is if it gets called out, they have to call it out 3 days ahead so it can get there in time. But it is impressive, though, Larry, when you see the amount of equipment, fire departments, ambulances that we do have that serve the entire county. In our lifetime, we've seen at least the Middlebury Fire Department go from 2 pumpers, an old ladder truck, and a van that they used as an emergency vehicle.
I rode in that van many times
Yes.
to fires.
Yes, I think we both did. Middlebury Ambulance. Get to see a couple more vehicles from the ambulance. Was their largest one, the heavy rescue, where they have to carry all of the heavy duty equipment if they have to extricate someone. Thinking, Larry, it didn't seem as if it was that many years ago when the Ambulance Association had a used hearse.
I remember when that first started, I was part of a radiothon fundraiser when I was at the WFAD radio station, and it was the one rig.
Yep. Yep. And it ran for many, many years. It had been donated by the former funeral director, Buzz Waite.
Yes.
Well, it appears, Larry, that they're starting to let cars down through. So I don't know if that's
Well, I would say
I don't know if
today,
that's the end. But
so ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much for today, and thank MCTV
Yes.
for the Memorial Day Parade 2019.
Larry, as always, it's a pleasure to serve together, and hopefully we'll do this in 2020.
We'll have to check our contract.
Absolutely.
Wait a minute, we don't have a contract.
That's true. That wore out a long time ago.
Thank you very much, folks.
Yes, happy Memorial Day to all of you.
Superman is cool.